Hey friends, thank you for connecting with It's Messy, but It's So Good. And today my guest is Maria Blon. Maria is an intuitive author and mentor, and she's renowned for inspiring and motivating fellow writers. Her and her family founded the Heart and Haiti School, which benefits directly from all funds raised by her project, Hearts Blooming. I know you're going to enjoy this interview. Also, again, I would appreciate so much if you could follow us and give us a 5-star review so that this podcast can grow and get out there to more people who are looking to expand and step into their passion. Thank you so much for your support and enjoy the episode. Well, welcome, Maria.
Wonderful to be here with you, Fran.
It's wonderful to have you. I just want to introduce you very briefly, and I'm going to look forward to you bringing us through your journey. But Maria Blon is an intuitive author and mentor, and she helps writers feel supported, inspired, and motivated to share their creations. And I had the pleasure actually of taking a workshop with Maria, and it's a very healing loving space and certainly brings out creativity. I just wrote. It actually is quite shocking to me that I was able to bring so much forward. So it was cool. And also, Maria has a nonprofit, I guess, initiative called Hearts Blooming. And I know Maria will talk more about it, but special donations go directly to Heart, which is a Haitian school. And Maria's been involved in that for many years. So I'm going to ask you to just share with us like your journey of how that created. And also, does it relate at all to your other work? Facilitating writing workshops?
Yeah, so it's an interesting process. You know, I've always been a spiritual person, and I'm living in this earth world where, we're asked at a young age to figure out what you want to do when you grow up and how you want to be. And so, the best career that I could find that matched what I enjoyed doing, it was helping people. And also I was not so great at math, but I worked hard at it. So then I could help other people learn it. And I ended up being a very good math teacher. And I worked at a community college, but I incorporated a lot of holistic practices in teaching. And one of those was writing. And as I've gone through different transitions, I was a math professor. I also taught yoga at the college. Everywhere that I worked with people, I always included writing. So I've done different things, like I trained with Reiki. I did that for a bit. I was a yoga therapist. And then, my careers just kept evolving. And there was a big shift in 2010 after the earthquake in Haiti. My daughter was trying to figure out what she wanted to do with her life. And when she found out that her guidance counselor was going down to Haiti, she was like, wow, I want to help. So I went with her, and we helped start the Heart and Haiti School, which has been going, adding a grade each year. And going down there was really transformative because here, we had a comfortable life. I've always had electricity in my house. I had free education, but I go down with people living in tarps that leak. If I bring them a $5 tarp, they're like hugging me, thanking me. Like I've changed their world with a $5 tarp. And so I recognized that my husband and I were in a place where we had our material needs taken care of. And why would I want to earn more money for us if we're okay, if I can anything I earn goes directly to our Heart and Haiti School? So it's a different paradigm. Like in the United States, it's like the more money you can make, the happier you can be. But
Mm.
that's not true. That's so I'm trying to show a paradigm shift that if we're in a place we're comfortable, then all of these funds to help writers can go directly to support students and teachers. So that's a bit of my story. And in this process, I started writing and helping other people write their stories. And I realized a lot of us writers, we think we just go into a room by ourselves and these words flow out. And, but I used to go months and days and years in the process of writing. I'm like, how do I get that next word? I had a whole bunch of pages done, but now I'm stuck. And every time that I was stuck, if I reached out to somebody, they would help me move forward. And I was invited to a writers group and that we meet once a week or once a month. No, twice a month. And in our group, we share, the places that we are doing well, and we celebrate each other. When we have challenges, we support each other. And I realized the power of community then.
Mhm.
And then I really found my calling is to guide writers in their process. And you spoke about the magic of being we were it's called a co-writing, and we have an online virtual call. I do like a settling activity in the beginning, and then everybody writes their own project, and then we share how that went. And it's powerful. It's like exponential how much more we get done when we're holding space for each other.
Yes. And not only that, but, I love the piece where we're sharing because it's very inspiring because you pick up something you perhaps another person participating will say something that you just never thought of before that's really, meaningful to you to help you continue with your own creativity. And it just creates this energy. I think it's like a vortex almost of inspiration. That was
Yes.
my experience.
Yes, absolutely. And if, a lot of times when things aren't going well with our writing, we want to hide. We want to not let anybody know that we're struggling. Yet, in this community space, everyone is welcome. So the person struggling shares what they've gone through or what they're going through. And then maybe there's another person in the group who's gone through something similar, and they can offer an insight that will help them move forward.
Absolutely.
So it's very powerful. And then that other people might be sharing celebrations, and a person who's going through a low time can be like, wow, they're moving forward. Let me catch on to their energy and we'll all move forward together. Or we will rest when it's time to rest, when it's time to go deep and sink into our intuition and figure out what our heart is calling us to, because those are the scariest times. Our society, praises moving forward in production, but the more feminine going inside, following our intuition, that's like, oh, no, you're not supposed to stop moving. You're not supposed to tap in. But we encourage each other when we need those times. So it's very powerful.
Yes. It's so true. Community, I think it gets us through everything. And we, like you said, we tend to isolate. We tend to do the exact opposite. When and thinking, oh, well, I'm the only one going through this. And there's a sense of shame, I think, for some people, especially when you are a person that has such a strong desire to create and to express oneself. And I think it's just part of, like you said, it's part of the process of creativity. You know, our society, like you said, I definitely believe that. It's like, oh, yes, you have an idea. And, we see all these movies and we see all these books and we think the process just went A to B, where it was, and I've said this before with other guests on the podcast, it's like the contrast that goes up and down, up and down, up and down is what really brings us, and enhances the creativity, because it's when we dip, right, that we tend to reach out. If we have that support system and we get that support, we don't feel alone and we get inspired and we see our blocks, we see, our patterns, and it's like, it's a growth. So it's a beautiful thing to always have a community, I feel, in anything that you're involved with, in anything that you're interested in, especially, I think, the arts, because I think people tend to be more hypercritical of themselves. And I think a lot of people who actually study something in the arts are taught to be very self-critical. So it's difficult to get out of that, and I love your group. It's so powerful. And also what I experienced was this sense of whatever comes, whatever you feel, there's no like goal that you have to reach.
Exactly.
Taking away the pressure.
Right. Absolutely. We're following our heart. We're following our intuition and where that leads us in whatever ebbs and flows that takes. And, you mentioned, we assume that like movies and books, they just happen. And, often when we go to a movie, we'll always stay for all the credits. And a lot of people just leave. So, I would say the next time you listeners watch a movie, stay for all the credits. Look at all those people that contributed just for that one movie. And that's not even showing the, the husband or the wife that stayed home with the kids so that the actor could go in the movie. And you can do the same with books. There's always a long list of acknowledgments, and some of them are written, but some of them aren't. There's so many supports that we need in order to be able to move forward with our writing. And I have just a quick story. I have one really very accomplished writer in my Birth a Book program now, and they had come to one of my the online writing retreat, similar to what you did, Fran. And then they actually had come to an in-person retreat, and they were like, deciding whether to join the Birth a Book program. And, I think I'll be fine. I can keep going. And this is someone who's written a whole bunch of kids' books and, is writing a really powerful spiritual book right now. And I said, well, between the last retreat you went to and this retreat, how much writing did you do? And they said, I wrote one article. And I said, so, how is that working for you? And they just started cracking up. Like, it's not because it's that strong desire. Yes, I can do this all by myself. And now they're part of the Birth a Book program and just so happy and connected, and had set goals for each month moving forward, has already surpassed their goals for this month and is already into next month. So, it's just really neat to see. And we need help finding the places where we belong, and, knowing that we want to be in a community that's supportive, that encourages us no matter what stage we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of life getting messy, we've already addressed some of that because it's the isolation and our head spinning around and round, and we're not going anywhere. And I know obviously like community is so important, but personally for you as a creative person, um, what practices, tools, or what inspires you when you get blocked or things get messy? Perhaps it's even things going around in, your external life. What has been really helpful to you that you could share with the audience, um, that, might help someone that is feeling very isolated right now or is feeling stuck in a pattern and they want so much to move out of it, but they feel kind of lost?
Yeah, it's a tough place to be, feeling stuck, lost, feeling that shame of, oh, I don't think I'm good enough to be around somebody. I don't think that I'm worthy of connection because I don't have to offer. And what I would say is in that low space, each day, think of all the things that you would like to do and pick the easiest one and do that one first. And then that feeling of, oh, okay, I've done this. What else feels like it's a good next step? Our steps should not be hard, that, we're forcing ourselves. So, no matter where we are, where can I go to make a step to move myself a little bit forward? And each day doing that makes a difference. And, I like look at patterns. I never used to have trouble with the winter, but I think since menopause, that's been challenging. So I realized that I need to figure out some of those steps before the winter starts. So I've done things like scheduling, going to a yoga class once a week, there's a spa I go to with warm water. I can swim. I can be in the whirlpool, go in the cold pool, the steam room, that to me feels like a once a week vacation. So I plan these things in. And of course I have my writing groups that I meet with them. And if I'm having a lousy day, I tell them and they'll love me just the same. And so it's that, connection with people and really just loving ourselves no matter where we are. And if we're really struggling, just one thing, do the thing that seems easiest, do that. And it's amazing. Like, even if we write for 5 minutes a day, all of those writings add up.
Yes.
And another thing, I ought to mention this. Last year, what I did was I wrote a poem a day. I'd get up every morning, wrote a poem a day. No matter where I was, I wrote about it. And then it's funny, like rhymes would come in, and then what seemed really hard would have a little bit of play, and I'd realize there's other options. So writing can be amazing, like just that 5 minutes to be honest. Here's where I am, and man, it sucks. But then something happens, and wow, I didn't think of that. And something else opens up, and it's really just awesome. So the poetry can be so direct and can help us find the goodness in ourselves in just a few minutes a day.
I love that. I've always been attracted to poetry. And, I maybe two other times in my life, once when I was really young. And then I think like maybe 2 years ago, I started writing poetry. And of course, I was very self-critical of it. I'm like, but it just all of a sudden, like as soon as you put it down, you just feel this sense of creativity that exactly what you're saying. It's like opens you up to the rest of the day somehow. Even if it's just like, do you suggest just doing that for like 5 minutes? Because otherwise it could become psychologically a burden to us. We put up walls. Oh, I can't do this for 20 minutes, So again, the 5-minute poem.
Yes, I definitely, 5-minute poem is amazing to shift the day. And, there's different kinds of poems. There's a haiku that's really short, and you can just write a short one and they can be really powerful. So that's fun. Would you like to hear a poem? I have,
I would
uh,
love that.
okay, great. So, a lot of times it's easier to write about what's not going well. Like we can pour out all this, oh man, this sucks, this is terrible. And I had reached a point where last year I was sick quite a bit. And now I feel amazing. And I was trying to figure out how to express this in a poem. So I came to my writing group and I told them what was going on. And one of the people in the group said a beautiful prayer to just call in divine help to write this poem. And here's what came through. And this was written, I don't know, took 10 minutes to write. And I it was edited a tiny bit, but this is pretty much how it came out. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Are we all ready, audience?
Are you ready, everybody? So this is called Melting. Body on fire for so many moments, days, weeks, months, years, decades, and now you are peaceful, relaxed, feeling safe and chill, like the mist at that restaurant in a faraway land on an over 100-degree day. Only this cool mist is coming from the inside, emanating outside from a now stable change in the tide, which feels like it's working for, not against. Is this really happening? Body settling, feeling like a popsicle on a hot summer day, melting, needing licking quickly, bringing in all this goodness, the joys and ahs, inspiring happiness, which has always been here, though just couldn't feel it fully, completely. Oh, such a sweet scene to be melting into my own skin.
I love that. Love that. Could really feel the turmoil and then the letting go. And
Yes, and that goes with your messiness, right? The messiness and the greatness of this life we are living.
yeah, so true. That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
So, can you share with us what you're up to now? Something that you're involved with? Well, first, I wanted to ask you what is going on at the school, like from the beginning. I think you said it was 2010 that you got involved. We're now in 2023. What has transformed?
Well, the school, I have to say, my daughter and now son-in-law have been so wise in the way they guided the school to add a grade each year. So, as it started out in Shad's home, and we have been able to buy 2 properties of 2 acres of land where the school is. When you fly over Haiti, it's all brown, but our 2 acres are green. We grow food for the kids.
Wow.
We have earthquake-proof construction. Some of our buildings are made out of shipping containers. The children learn critical thinking and problem solving because it's a country that has no free education. They learn memorization, so all the problems they have, they can't, they aren't learning to think out of the box and think differently.
Mhm.
So this year we have 13 grades.
Wow.
And they'll graduate in June, which is a huge celebration. The country is really in rough shape. There's a lot of gang activity. The kids often walk by machine guns on their way to school, but they know that school is their way to freedom, their way to help themselves, help their families. Usually it's only one child from a family that can go to the school. and they go home and they teach their parents to read. They teach their other siblings to read and write. So it's really so powerful. And, our school, we have 300 students. We employ 47 local people to run the school. And all of that costs $100,000 in a year.
Mhm. Wow.
And that's how much one teacher in New York that's been teaching for a bit
Yeah.
earns in a year. So it's like just a little bit of money from us, a little bit of our extra, like a little bit of that cream from the top of our milk can be sent there and really transform those people's lives.
Wow, that is amazing. Have any of the students kind of expressed to you or your daughter or your son-in-law, like what their next step is?
Yes. I mean, there's students, and that's something that we're working to help them figure out. Like they want to go to college. Some want to go to trade schools. We have the kids, they want to be doctors. They want to be lawyers. They want to build houses. They, want to make their country better. And we are dedicated to keep supporting them to make those dreams come true.
So is there a specific, which we'll put in the show notes, is there a specific link? If someone in the audience listening is inspired, they want more information, they might want to donate, how they would get in touch with you?
Yes, absolutely. They can get in touch with me, the number 2, and then mariablon@gmail.com.
Great.
And if they want to, I will send them all the information they want. Our website for the school is heartandhaiti.org. The website for my organization is heartsblooming.org. And you'll, get all the information there.
Great. And switching gears a little bit to your writing workshops, can you share a little bit about what's going on, what you have going on right now for people to participate?
Yes, November is a packed month. It begins this Thursday, called Exploring Your Life Through Poetry, Transforming the Ordinary to Extraordinary. And I'm doing one in the beginning of each month online, and it's just a 45-minute, and we're going to have a theme. Of course, it's a fall theme. We'll do a settling activity, read a poem, and then people are going to have time to do their own writing and then time for sharing. So there's that poetry, and then I have a retreat on November 12th. It's an online 3-hour retreat. So if someone wants to really get a lot done and receive support and inspiration and motivation to do that. And then usually I do not open up my master classes for writing to people outside of the program, but we're having a visitor. Melody Ann is coming to talk about publishing. And so there's 3 different options: self-publishing, a hybrid, and traditional publishing. She's worked in the publishing world and is going to share a 1.5-hour masterclass for us. So this is a unique opportunity I'm opening up to people who aren't in the program, that if they want to join, they can. So those are the big things there that are coming up in November. The Birth a Book program started its 2nd year in the beginning of this month, and we will go through the end of June. And we have retreats. Anybody can come to our online retreats once a season. And then only the people in the program can go to an in-person retreat at my cabin in the woods at a lake.
That's in New York, right?
Yes, in New York. Yeah,
Upstate New York.
A lot of really wonderful programs, and every single penny to join any of these programs goes to support those students in Haiti, to pay the salaries of those teachers. And so it's just a win-win. People receive the support and motivation for their writing, and then the students in Haiti are actually able to receive an education and to become the future leaders in Haiti.
That's fantastic. And I just want to point out that if this, podcast is launched after November, of course, you have something going on every month. As long as you just contact Maria at her contact information, you'll find out what's current for the time that, you listen and you're interested.
Oh, yes, I forgot we were in February. So yes, there will in February there will be poetry offerings and also writing retreats each season. And the thing is, what I suggest to people to begin is just go to heartsblooming.org/gift.
Mm.
You go there and schedule a one-on-one talk with me, because each person's unique as to what would be best for them. And so when the time is right, just heartsblooming.org/gift, you get a free phone call with me that you can schedule at a time which is best for you. And then you can let me know what your challenges are, what things you want to celebrate, and we can come up with a plan together as your best way to move forward.
I love that. That's great. So people could really feel that personal touch before they get started, get more clarity. So that's great. Thank you. So my last question for you, Maria, is what do you think, and there could be many, what is the biggest gift that you have received from doing this work?
The biggest gift is to witness people who are not sure if they can do this, and to watch them shine and move forward. I have one person in the group who they're writing about their father was in a Victory Farm Garden program in New York during World War II. And they have video footage of her dad meeting the people that he farmed with a while ago. And, she's learning a new style of writing. She is trained as an engineer, and now she's writing a fictional narrative. And, it's just so exciting. She's in the second year of the Birth the Book program. Her confidence is just raised every time. And the other day, I just had this vision of our whole group being at a museum in New York City where she has her book opening and she's showing like pictures of her dad on the tractor. And we're learning about what happened when there was this, why they have to be careful with hay. And, not only all the people from our group, but when I tell people about what she's writing, they're excited and they want to be on her email list. And just how we're building all of this together and we're supporting everyone along the way. I have to say that's my biggest gift, is to watch people bloom, watch their hearts expand as they're following their own lead of where they know they're meant to be.
I love that. It's beautiful. Well, thank you, Maria. I really appreciate you spending time with us and sharing your passion and how you have affected, your communities. And I'm sure it goes out all the way to Haiti and everywhere else where this podcast is reaching. So get in touch with Maria, and just if you just have this little spark, just reach out and Maria will guide you, and who knows what can happen from there. So thanks, Maria. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Fran, and good luck with your writing. I can't wait to have you at our next event. You're already signed up for.
Yes, I'm doing the poetry workshop in December, and I just got that little inspiration. So I'm like, let me go. Let me see. Let me have fun. Because it's all so much fun when you get that spark of creativity and you put something down on paper or in any media that you're working in. And it's such a, you just feel very whole, that's what I experience. So So thank you for adding that to the world. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And thank you for this podcast.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye, Fran.
Take care. Thank you for listening to another interview at It's Messy, but It's So Good. And thank you, Maria, for sharing your passion journey and all the good work that you do. In this episode, we discussed some of Maria's journey and her evolving career, her role of community and creative pursuits, some practical tools for creative expression, and then updates on Heart and Haiti School. If you'd like to connect with Maria and find out what's going on now, she does seasonal retreats. She does a monthly poetry group till June. And Maria would be happy to spend some time with you doing a clarity session to see what your needs are and where you're at and how she can support you. You can email Maria at the number 2, mariablon@gmail.com, and you can check the show notes for more information on setting up a one-on-one and also checking out her website, heartandhaiti.org, for possible donations to her school. Thank you so much, Maria. We really appreciate you sharing all of your beautiful work. Take care. See you next time.